Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we be diving deep into one of the most intense and realistic Vietnam War films ever made. The 1987 classic, Hamburger Hill*. This isn't a story about grand strategies or political debates. It's a raw, ground-level look at the brutal reality faced by the soldiers of the 101st Airborne Division. Directed by John Irvin, the film focuses on a single grueling 10-day battle to take a heavily fortified hill, officially known as Hill 937. The soldiers nicknamed it Hamburger Hill, a grim nod to how the battle chewed them up. So grab a seat as we revisit the harrowing ordeal of the Screaming Eagles. Our story begins in May 1969 in the A Shau Valley of South Vietnam. We're introduced to a platoon of soldiers from the 3rd Battalion, 187th Infantry Regiment. The platoon is a mix of seasoned veterans and fresh-faced replacements, often called FNGs, or freaking new guys. Among these new arrivals are soldiers like Beletsky, Languilli, and Washburn. They're immediately thrown into the harsh environment of war, a world away from the lives they knew back home. The film does a brilliant job of showing the immediate culture shock and the steep, dangerous learning curve they face. The platoon is led by the battle-hardened Sergeant France, played by Dolan McDermott, and the thoughtful, caring medic, Specialist Gagan, portrayed by Courtney B. Vance. These two characters anchor the squad. France is tough but fair, his primary goal being to keep his men alive. Gagan is the heart of the unit, tending to both physical wounds and the psychological toll of combat. We see the camaraderie and the tensions within the group. The veterans, who have seen too much, are wary of getting close to the new guys, knowing how quickly a life can be extinguished. They share stories, jokes, and letters from home, creating small pockets of normalcy in the chaos. Soon, the platoon receives its orders. They are part of Operation Apache Snow, a military campaign to push the North Vietnamese Army, or NVA, out of the A Shau Valley. Their specific objective is Hill 937. From the start, it's clear this will be no easy task. The hill is a fortress of interlocking bunkers, trenches, and spider holes, defended by a determined and well-entrenched NVA force. The initial assaults begin, and the film pulls no punches in its depiction of combat. The first push up the hill is a brutal awakening. The soldiers charge into a hail of machine gun fire and mortar. The dense jungle terrain, combined with torrential rain, turns the steep slopes into a muddy, slippery nightmare. The advance is slow and costly. Men are hit, and the cries for medic become a constant, haunting refrain. Gagan and the other medics work frantically, often under direct fire, to save their wounded comrades. The first attack is repulsed, and the platoon is forced to retreat, carrying their dead and wounded back down the treacherous slope. This sets the pattern for the days that follow. Each day brings a new assault, and each assault feels more futile and devastating than the last. The film meticulously documents the cyclical nature of the battle, the anxious wait before an attack, the terrifying charge up the hill, the intense firefight, the painful retreat, and the grim task of counting the losses. The mud is relentless, caking everything and everyone, symbolizing the quagmire of the war itself. The soldiers' uniforms are torn, their bodies are exhausted, and their faces become masks of mud, sweat, and despair. Amid the horror, the film explores the soldiers' thoughts and frustrations. They listen to anti-war reports on the radio from back home, feeling a profound sense of disconnect and abandonment. They question the strategic importance of this specific hill, wondering if the cost in human lives is worth it. One of the most powerful themes is the racial tension within the ranks, mirroring the societal conflicts in America at the time. Black and white soldiers argue and sometimes clash, yet in the heat of battle, these divisions melt away. They are all just brothers in green, fighting and dying side by side. Their shared experience in the crucible of combat forges a bond stronger than any prejudice. As the days wear on, the platoon shrinks. The new guys are no longer new. They have witnessed and experienced horrors that have aged them beyond their years. Languilli, one of the FNGs we met at the start, is killed by a friendly fire incident when a helicopter gunship mistakes their position, a tragic and senseless loss that deeply shakes the survivors. Beletsky is also killed in one of the assaults. The veterans we thought were invincible also begin to fall. The emotional toll is immense. Sergeant France and Specialist Gagan struggle to hold the remaining men together, their own resolve tested to its absolute limit. One of the most heart-wrenching scenes involves Gagan. After days of patching up his friends and watching them die, he finally reaches a breaking point. He sits in the mud, shell-shocked and emotionally shattered, overwhelmed by the endless suffering. It's a powerful moment that captures the immense psychological burden placed on these young men. It's not just about surviving the bullets, but also about surviving the trauma. Finally, after 10 days of relentless assaults, the 10th and final push begins. The remaining soldiers, a battered and depleted force, muster their last reserves of strength and courage. They are no longer charging with loud war cries but moving with a grim, silent determination. The fighting is intense, hand-to-hand in the NVA trenches. They claw their way to the summit, one bunker at a time. The camera stays tight on their faces, showing the fear, the anger, and the sheer will to survive and win. Against all odds, they succeed. They take the crest of Hamburger Hill, but the victory is anything but triumphant. As the survivors stand on the conquered ground, there are no cheers, no celebrations. They are exhausted, wounded, and emotionally numb. They look around at the devastated landscape and the few comrades still standing. The cost has been staggering. The final shots of the film show the wind blowing over the now quiet hill, a stark and somber monument to the soldiers who fought and died there. The film's closing text reveals a bitter truth. Shortly after being captured at such a high cost, the hill was abandoned by American forces. This final piece of information leaves the audience with a profound sense of the futility and tragedy of the battle, and perhaps the war itself. Hamburger Hill doesn't offer easy answers or patriotic platitudes. It simply presents the unvarnished experience of the infantryman. It's a tribute to the courage, sacrifice, and endurance of the soldiers who fought there, a powerful reminder of the true cost of war. Thank you for joining me on this look back at Hamburger Hill *. It's a difficult film to watch, but an important one. If you found this summary interesting, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into cinematic history. We'll see you in the next one.